Welcome to the State of Wrestling. I'm your host, Mike Barnes. Got a new format here on the State of Wrestling. Previously, I did a show at the end of the week where I talked about what happened on Raw, what happened on SmackDown, headlines in wrestling, what was making wrestling news. We're gonna switch that up. I'm gonna change it, and I'm gonna post now a Raw recap show. I'm going to do a SmackDown highlights show, and I will also be posting a headline show. So 3 shows instead of 1. I kind of went through it a little too quick, I think, in the 1 show. Didn't get to talk enough about the stuff, and plus, it was like Friday, Saturday before I actually posted a video of what happened during Raw and that, and to me it was just too long. So here we go. This is the first show of the new format. This is the Raw recap show. Of course, it was the first Raw after WrestleMania, an amazing Raw. We had a lot of big things happen. Storylines are still kind of going from Mania, as they always do, going forward into the next pay-per-view. Raw opened up with Triple H cutting a promo on his match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. You know, that match at Mania was unbelievable. It was probably one of the best matches of all time. And, you know, that's basically what Triple H was saying. You know, he gave a lot of respect to The Undertaker and said once he's back, and he believes he will be back, that he will be waiting for him. And I think that match, we might see at next year's WrestleMania again, you know, kind of carrying on what happened there. So the next match that happened on Raw, another Raw note, was Michael Cole coming out challenging Jerry Lawler. Doesn't face Jerry Lawler, ends up facing Jack Swagger. Jack Swagger ends up facing Jerry the King Lawler and beats Jerry Lawler. Won't break the ankle lock. Decision gets reversed. I thought they dropped this storyline after WrestleMania. Obviously, they're still going with it. If you didn't see it, Jim Ross was out on commentary. He you know, was basically yelling at Michael Cole. Michael Cole went into his coal mine, the stupid thing. I wish they'd get rid of that. I was hoping after Taker and Triple H smashed that Mania, they'd be done with it, but apparently not. So he went in there. There was a thing of JR's barbecue sauce. He squirts it all over JR, gets it in his eye. JR's done for the night on commentary. I don't know how much farther they can go with this storyline. I mean, it looks like they might involve Booker T in it. I'm not sure. I really hope that they drop this storyline pretty soon, because it's getting stale. I mean, Michael Cole's a good heel, but I mean, you see a stupid yellow or orange, thing that he wears, and he's got the wrestling hat. He looks like he just looks stupid. And then we've seen a really good tag match on Raw between CM Punk teaming with Cody Rhodes, taking on Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton. This was a very long match, but it was a very good match as well. Something they're really missing lately. You know, it had some pretty good high spots in the match. Pretty good finish, the 619 into the RKO. And, of course, Rey and Randy Orton picked up the win in that match. We saw Steve Austin and Triple H in the back talking about Triple H's Mania match. They had a handshake. Austin said if that match does happen again, he will be there to see it. And then we seen Steve Austin come out, brought out the Tough Enough guys and girls. And I don't know much about any of these wrestlers from Tough Enough. I've heard that some of them have been around in the independents. Former Miss America, I think from 2010, is in it. You know, I haven't got to see Tough Enough yet. Looking forward to watching it. It should be good. Steve Austin, always entertaining. Trish Stratus, great. Booker T's entertaining. Bill DeMont, who of course was Hugh Morris, another entertaining guy. It should be a very good season of Tough Enough. It's good to have that back as well. And then when Austin was out there, The Miz came out and interrupted him. Showed a clip from WrestleMania where he was up on the barricade, Cena clotheslined him, and The Miz smacked his head, had a concussion. Brutal hit, the way he smacked his head. You know, you got to give this guy props even for coming out there after that. I mean, it was unbelievable. And The Miz basically challenged Steve Austin, and that shocked me for one, because for years Austin's been saying, you know, he's done with wrestling, he ain't getting back in the ring anymore, he ain't fighting. I mean, yeah, he's come out, he's done a few stunners and that, stuff like that. Nothing big, right? And then, you know, the Miz gives him a cheap shot, gets out of the ring right away, obviously, because he has a concussion, doesn't want to risk anything and get hurt yet again, or worse, sorry. And then Alex Riley went after Austin. I mean, he was actually, like, you know, hitting him pretty good. Well, for Alex Riley, he was getting him pretty good. And then Austin turns it around, hits all his signature moves. You know, he hit the Luthez press. He was stomping a mud hole in him. Hits a stunner. It didn't look like Austin's lost a step. I mean, it looks like he's never left the ring. Clearly, he's been working on it. I don't know if he's got another run in him. I hope so. I really hope so. I think him and The Miz would be a great match. You know, that would be a great feud going into the future. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. But I'm throwing it out there. I think Austin's coming back for at least one more match. You know, he's had quite a few years off now to rehabilitate his neck, get it strong. Maybe he's got another run in him. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Alberto Del Rio looked very intense and very aggressive in his match against Evan Bourne. Of course, he won that match. We'll have to see what happens on SmackDown, whether or not he's going to get a rematch against Edge at Extreme Rules. We'll have to wait for that one to find out what happens there. Vicky Guerrero and Dolph Ziggler came out and basically said that Snooki humiliated them at WrestleMania by beating Lay Cool and Dolph. And then we ended up having a tag match between Vicky, Dolph, against John Morrison and Trish Stratus. Vicky and Trish didn't really do a lot in this match. A couple slaps. Trish rolled up Vicky a couple times. Nothing big. But I mean, the John Morrison Dolph Ziggler spots were awesome. I think they need to drop the Divas out of this feud and just let John Morrison and Dolph Ziggler go out there and have awesome matches, because they can. The U.S. title match that we seen, Sheamus defending the title against Daniel Bryan. Pretty good match, another intense match. These guys really, they really work good with each other, I feel. And then at the end of the match, when Sheamus beat Daniel Bryan, we seen the debut of Cara. This guy, you know, is a very impressive wrestler. I don't know if you've seen a lot of his stuff. Check out some of his stuff on the internet. This guy is an amazing high flyer. In my opinion, I think this guy is going to be head and shoulders above Rey Mysterio. Once he gets, you know, a few years. I know he's been around internationally for a long time. Once he gets a few years in the WWE, I think he's going to be better than Rey Mysterio ever was. If you've seen the debut, he came out. It was right after Sheamus won. You know, he had came out, ran down the ring, hit a trampoline, went over the ropes into the ring, did like a little like a somersault type thing, ducked under Sheamus's clothesline, went up, hit a hurricanrana. Sheamus went to the outside of the ring, and he hit an amazing springboard crossbody to the outside of the ring. Really looking forward to Sin Cara. I think we're going to see possibly him take on Sheamus, maybe in Daniel Bryan in a triple threat match. That would be a really good match. And then we fast forward to the end of Monday Night Raw and the announcement that The Rock challenged John Cena to WrestleMania 28 main event. Cena accepted, and we're going to see that match at WrestleMania 28. In my opinion, it's a long, long time away to set a main event between Cena and The Rock. I mean, it's a year away. I mean, yeah, I understand they want a huge build-up. I mean, maybe I don't know if we're going to see The Rock in the ring before WrestleMania 28. We might. It's hard to say. You know, these guys, they cut awesome promos. I think they're going to have a pretty good match. It's not going to be the most technical match, but, you know, it's a generation against a generation, basically. You know, The Rock represented kind of the Attitude Era. Cena represents the PG era, basically. It's a year away, though. I mean, God, anything could happen in a year. I mean, John Cena could hurt his neck again and he could be out for WrestleMania. I mean, or he could break his leg. You know, hopefully none of that happens, but it's possible. I mean, why would you set this main event and, you know, market? I mean, they're going to push it huge. They're going to talk about it every week. I guarantee it until next year's WrestleMania. That we're going to see Cena take on The Rock at WrestleMania 28. What happens if one of these guys gets hurt? What happens if The Rock, you know, he's doing a movie and he does something that he, you know, hurts his knee and needs surgery or something? It's possible. Anything could happen here to prevent this match from happening. In my opinion, WWE should not have booked this match that far away. They shouldn't have. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to book this match 1 year from now when anything could happen between now and then. Either one of these guys could get injured, could get hurt, and then the match won't happen. It's just, in my opinion, it's way too far away to book that match. So that's it for Raw recap. It was a pretty big Raw. Raw after WrestleMania is always big. Lots of stuff going on. Next week, hopefully, we'll get some insight as to what's going to happen at Extreme Rules coming up on May 1st. Find out who The Miz will be taking on. We didn't really find out who he's taking on or anything like that, but we'll find all that out coming up probably next week. And coming up here on the State of Wrestling, within probably the next day or two, I'm going to feature the Superstar of the Week. No one commented on who they want the Superstar of the Week to be. So, based on this past week's WrestleMania, it's going to be The Undertaker. So stick around for that. Coming up, we also have the headline episodes coming up, talk about what's going on in the wrestling world outside of Raw. And we'll also have the SmackDown highlight show later in the week as well. Stick around for all that and more here on the State of Wrestling. Thanks for watching.